Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen, Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
This is the Election Bureau. Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 newsroom from our studios at number 5, Ula Hansele in Atesano here in Accra. My name is Tuffour Boateng. Coming up. Hundreds of parents seek solutions at Accra Placement Center as schools reopen. Meanwhile, authorities urge patients amid placement issues.
I came to change my school, my location.
Why?
Because I took St. Mary's Vocational School at Asamankese, but they gave me a from place. They said I'll cross border.
You don't want to cross the border. So which school are you selecting now?
St. Mary's Vocational School at Asamankese.
Boateng residents expressed concern over court closures amid Boko conflict. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Boateng East Dominic Ayene plans to petition the Chief Justice to reconsider court shutdowns.
I understand why the government should close 7 courts in the Upper East region. The fight is at Boku, and Bolga is far from Boku. So right now, if somebody steals my things, and I go to arrest him, or I made the police to arrest him, and he's put in cells, they say don't keep a suspect more than 24 hours in cells. So he will be there until the fight in Boku is over. When will the fight be over?
Supreme Court grants extension to Attorney General in Ghanaian Family Values Bill case.
Any affidavit in the position filed by either the plaintiff or the first defendant. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that time for the second defendant to file a statement of case is extended for 7 days from the date of this order.
Dr. Mahamudu Baumia urges the Sunafo South voters to break skirt and blouse voting pattern and promises key role for NPP candidate Francis Eduse Opoku if elected.
Enti afiwe die me pese munjai skirt and blouse no na yentu straight enyasa yentu straight.
Also coming up, John Mahama hosts a governance forum to outline accountability and governance proposals. And later in CNR Business. Commercial banks report strong third quarter profit growth, surpassing 1 billion cedis in earnings. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get straight into the details of our stories. The Supreme Court has granted the Attorney General's Department a 7-day extension to file its statement in the case involving journalist and legal practitioner Richard De La Sky versus the Speaker of Parliament. This case centers on the Ghanaian Family Values Bill aimed at promoting traditional family values, which critics argue may infringe on individual rights, particularly those of marginalized groups such as the LGBTQ+ community. Jude Duncan was at the Supreme Court and filed this report.
The Supreme Court of Ghana has granted the Attorney General's Department an additional 7 days to file its statement of case in the matter of journalist and private legal practitioner Richard De La Sky versus the Speaker of Parliament, which challenges the constitutionality of the Ghanaian Family Values Bill.
Any affidavit in the position filed by either the plaintiff or the first defendant, accordingly it is hereby ordered that time for the second defendant to file a statement of case is extended for 7 days from the date of this order.
During the proceedings, the state attorney also requested that the court compel the Speaker's legal team to submit a report on the financial impact analysis of the Family Values Bill. Following the hearing, lead counsel for Richard De La Sky, Pa Kwesi Abedu, questioned why the financial impact analysis was not presented by the Speaker's counsel, Tade Osori, who had previously stated that the report was ready at the last sitting. Pa Kwesi Abedu stressed that the financial impact analysis could significantly impact the case outcome.
From the last sitting, the Attorney General made his position very clear that he's been unable to file because his defense will hinge essentially on the financial impact analysis report. We should have accompanied the memorandum before its admission by Speaker and being deliberated onto a bill. The counsel for the Speaker, Mr. Tade Osori, did not mince words in telling this honorable court that indeed they found the financial impact analysis report and that he was going to file it that very week. Here we are 3 months along the line and that document has not been filed. Now they filed their defense without that report. So it explains the hesitation of the Attorney General for all this time to file. But I think in the circumstance they've been compelled to file because they must meet the deadline of the court. But we think such a document is at the root of the matter, and without its being put before the courts, it puts a very bad cast on the case.
In a similar case involving lecturer Dr. Amanda Odoi versus the Speaker of Parliament, the Supreme Court also granted a 7-day extension to the Attorney General's Department to file its statement of case. The Apex Courts today agreed to a request filed by the Attorney General's Department requesting for an extension of time on the constitutionality of the Family Values Bill brought before it by private legal practitioner and journalist Richard De La Sky. The Apex Court granted an additional 7 days for the AG to file their statement of case on the matter. Also featuring prominently at the Apex Court today on the case was the issue of the financial impact analysis, which the Attorney General's Department argued that was necessary for the case, urging the bench to compel really the office of the Speaker of Parliament to file in the next year. And reporting for Channel 1 News, my name is Jude Duncan.
Let's take you to the Upper East region, where residents of Bolgatanga are voicing concern over the recent closure of Circuit, District and High Court in response to the ongoing Boko conflict. Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu ordered the shutdown affecting courts in Zwarungu, Zebila and Garu districts, prompting local appeals for a reversal to prevent disruptions in accessing justice. Christopher Kevin Asima has more.
Recent unrest in Boko has led the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu to the Judicial Service to close courts in Boko, Pusiga, Zuarongo, Zebila, Garu, and Bolgatanga until further notice. Groups like the Ghana Bar Association and the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana have expressed support for the closure, citing safety concerns for judicial staff. However, some residents are urging a reconsideration, worried that prolonged closures will delay justice in the area.
I don't understand why the government should close 7 courts in the Upper East region. The fight is at Boku, and Bolga is far from Boku. So right now, if somebody steals my things, and I go to arrest him, or I made the police to arrest him, and he's put in cells, they say don't keep a suspect more than 24 hours in cells. So he will be there until the fight in Boku is over. When will the fight be over?
And even if the Supreme Court feels that the Boku disturbances is affecting citizens, how about the courts in Northeast region? The courts in Northeast regions have also been closed. Those courts have also been closed. Why am I saying this? The blockade on that stretch, the Tamale-Bolga route, is even affecting the people more than what is happening in Boku.
So if someone commits something right now, like criminal case, so where do you think we will send the mother to? I understand. So meaning they will arrest the person, the police will take the person to police station, and then the person will be there till further notice.
During the launch of the 5th edition of the Manual on Election Adjudication in Ghana, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu stressed the need for greater support for the judiciary, especially in conflict-prone areas. She emphasized that the backing is essential to ensure the judiciary can effectively address cases and promote stability.
In the last week, I have had the unpleasant duty of having to close down courts in the upper regions of our country. No one can benefit from such situations, and it is in the national interest for all and sundry to rally around the administration of law and justice.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Bolga East, Dominic Ayene, has announced plans to collaborate with his colleagues from Bolga Central and Bongo constituency to petition the Chief Justice to revisit the recent decision to close courts in the Upper East region due to the ongoing Boko conflict.
The example that he cited about people's Ghana cards being taken to determine if they are from COSAC before they are dealt with and so on and so forth. That happened in Walwale. It wasn't in Bolga. So the wisest thing to have done would have been to have closed the courts that are within the Boku area. But when it comes to the high courts in Bolga, there is no conflict, taking place now in Bolga. Closing the high court, the circuit court, and all the district courts in Bolga and East Enviro, that doesn't make sense to me. You are shutting the doors of justice to a lot of people just because you think that, the safety of the judicial staff is in jeopardy. The directive is overbroad. I want to have a discussion with the Honorable Member for Bolga Central and then the Honorable Member for Bungo for us to do a joint letter to the Judicial Secretary to reverse herself as far as the courts in Bolga and its environs are concerned, because we are not within the conflict zone.
We do some education now, and hundreds of frustrated parents and guardians gathered at the placement center in Accra on Thursday seeking solutions for the award's senior high school placements. Authorities have called for patience, promising to address the issues raised. The situation unfolds as schools across the country officially reopened for first-year students on Wednesday, October 30. Rachel Engman has the details in this report.
The bustling scene attracted vendors eager to make brisk sales at the premises. Schools reopened on Wednesday, October 30 for first-year senior high school students. However, some groups have protested, arguing that the process was rushed and left parents and guardians with insufficient time to prepare. At the placement center, some frustrated parents and students shared their concerns in an interview with Channel 1 News.
My ward has a school, but they've given him a day. But where our location is far from where the school is, so it will be very difficult for me, for him to be a day student. So that is where I've come here, so that if they can help me to choose boarding school for him?
I came to change my school, my location.
Why?
Because I took St. Mary's Vocational School at Asamankese, but they gave me a from place at. They said I'll cross border.
You don't want to cross the border. So which school are you selecting now?
St. Mary's Vocational School at Asamankese.
What was your grade?
21.
Get Kotoku Senior High School.
Where is that?
This thing, Kotoku.
But what was her grade?
The grade is 27.
What school do you want for her? How do you feel? Your friends are in school.
I feel very bad.
Which school are you changing to now?
Adan Sinai or English Sinai. Adan or English Sinai.
I came to change my son's school. Actually, he got admission at, I think, Northern Region, but we can't go there. And it's day instead of boarding. So I came here to change the school. When I came to, they have accepted it, and then they have allowed me to choose schools, a day school that is around where we live.
Meanwhile, Deputy Coordinator of the Free Senior High School Secretariat, Nana Frastika Mensah, advised affected individuals to remain patient, assuring them that their issues would be resolved. She also cautioned everyone to stay vigilant against potential fraudsters.
Because of the reopening, that is why we are seeing quite a number of people over here. Even though we will give a timeline, we give prior notice before, but because the reopening has gotten too close to the placement, that is why we've seen quite a number of people here. But they shouldn't worry. As I indicated earlier, they should stay calm. All issues will be resolved accordingly.
Does it look like this problem is going to be solved very soon?
No, it will solve very soon. You know
how long duration?
No, we'll be here for 30 days, but the issue that we paid up from last 3 days has been worked on. Yesterday's only. We have team out there, they are also working on it. So we even want to take this one to the center for them to work on it immediately. Yeah. I want to state emphatically that this year placements, even the pin codes, everything is free. So they shouldn't fall prey to anybody out there promising them that they should give them money and then they will place them to any of their choices. This year placements, everything is for free, including checking and everything.
Senior high schools have reopened nationwide for students, but here at the School Placement Center, some parents and students are gathered hoping to secure placements or make adjustments. Authorities are urging patience and caution to avoid falling prey to fraud. Reporting for Channel 1 News, my name is Rachel Engman.
This is the Election Bureau, and you're watching the Channel 1 newsroom right here on Channel 1 television. Still to come, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia urges the Tuffour South voters to break skirt and blouse voting pattern and promises key role for NPP candidate Francis Edusipoku if elected. Meanwhile, John Dramani Mahama hosts Governance Forum to outline accountability and governance proposals. Stay with us, we'll be right back with the details.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that? Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be Football Made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen, Channel 1 TV.
Oh, thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that? Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be Football Made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen, Channel 1 TV.
Oh, thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
You're welcome back. This is the Channel 1 newsroom. Let's do some election-related stories now. New Patriotic Party NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has urged voters in Tuffour South to move away from their history of skirt and blouse voting, where they support the NPP in the presidential polls but chose NDC's Eric Opoku for the parliamentary seat. Speaking to stakeholders in Sankore, Dr. Bawumia assured them that NPP's parliamentary candidate Francis Aduse Opoku would hold a prominent role in his government if elected as Member of Parliament. Channel 1 News' Hansen Ajiman has more in the following report.
On Thursday, Dr. Bawumia's campaign team visited 3 constituencies in the Ahafo region, a politically strategic area with 6 constituencies. Since 2000, the NPP has maintained dominance in the presidential election across all 6 constituencies, though parliamentary seats remain competitive. In past elections, the NDC held a majority in 1996, but the NPP has made gains, capturing 4 seats in 2004, 2016 and 2020. Currently, Tuffour South and SCTV South remain strongholds of the NDC, with MPs Eric Opoku and Collins Dauda. In Sankore, Dr. Bawumia encouraged residents to fully support the NPP, both in the presidential and parliamentary races. He emphasized that a unified NPP vote could bring significant development and representation at the national level.
Now, Tuffour South, they be a year to aba, you win presidential election. But parliamentary, no, a honor a ding a mile. And the afiwe there, me pese munjai skirt and blouse, no. Lion too straight. And yes, sir, yen too straight. Mudi Sankore ha, me pese me shamu bosse. Mudi Frank Adusi Kuba. Mede obi a ofiri Sankore ha ebe shema baimo amamo.
Some residents in Nobiako expressed readiness to support the NPP parliamentary candidate Francis Eduse Poku in the 2024 election.
And it's what to baby because one man where they know one homody. Catch any pan so one homody. Now the any pabayana kufado than a buyer. I am.
Omokansembi so omobaye na dollar no 5 cities I feel what 18 cities uncommon ebisu koso ewa.
Yeah, had ye. Ye won't be a some dollar no. Yes, some adro. Yes, $1 something and some yet the adronia some. And to Yadona, some fast one or the Amaya for.
At a community event in Kukum, Dr. Bawumia took a moment to humorously address former President Mohammed's absence from a debate, further engaging the crowd.
Chilean adie bako inshisha bako ode ababuwa Ghana for ubeye president ubeye vice president bako pe o on Chilean inshisha bako pe dumso ana confirm dumso ana confirm bako wait me. No say oh no, why you massing? Let me see. Would you who this? Why you massing? Brian, debate 1-on-1, mano a mano. Omba, we Johnny, Osro, we Johnny to say I'm cooking kitty. We Johnny.
In Tuffour North, the NPP flag bearer inspected ongoing construction at the Ahafo University campus of the University of Engineering and Applied Sciences. He also commissioned a new polyclinic, rallying support ahead of the upcoming 2024 election. The day's activities concluded in SCTV South, where Dr. Bawumia participated in a stakeholder engagement, a youth connect session, and a visit to chiefs. The NPP flag bearer has for the past 13 hours been on the ground campaigning in 3 constituencies in the Ahafo region, a region that historically is a stronghold for the NPP when it comes to the presidential election. But throughout his tours, he's been speaking to residents and constituents to make sure that they vote for NPP's parliamentary candidates as well in the 2024 general election. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Hansen Ajaman.
Well, let's now go live and speak to Hansen Ajaman, who is currently on tour with the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Thank you very much, Hansen, for joining us. I see you're moving, you're en route, you're in motion now. Tell us exactly where you're moving from and where you're heading now.
where Dr. Baumia met with chiefs and stakeholders in the SCCC South constituency. And so we're moving all the way to Achintua, where Dr. Baumia again is expected to engage. Dr. Baumia is expected to engage the chiefs at Achintua and hold the community connect as well in this particular constituency. This is the Achintua South constituency. This is constituency.
Having some challenges there connected with Hansen, and of course you can understand why, because he's still in motion. Yes, I think we have him back. Hansen, we lost you momentarily there, but do I take it that the Vice President is not done with his rounds for the day?
So he's left with two stops, as I indicated, in a change to meet with the chiefs and also to hold a community connect. This community connect is a mini rally, which basically is where he engaged party faithfuls. But he will first engage with the chiefs of Achintua, all in the Pacific South constituency here in the Ahafo region. He's been speaking to constituents and various stakeholders, trying to explain to them why in less than 37 days to the general election, they should pick number one on the ballot paper, and particularly for this region where the NPP has been battling it out with the APC. He's been campaigning against the party better, and they vote for both the NPP presidential candidate and the NPP parliamentary candidate in the region. And so now that is what we are up to. We are on the move with the president, the NPP flag bearer. And after those two talks, he will conclude the 4-4 today. And then he will continue with the Ahafo region tomorrow, completing the other three constituencies before he would now prepare to zoom in campaigning in the Ashanti region.
Right, very well. Thank you so much, Hansen Ajiman, and please keep safe. Hansen Ajiman is my colleague here from the City Newsroom. He is currently on tour with the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Let's now take you to the camp of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, where its flag bearer, John Mahama, is hosting a governance forum, which is currently underway at the Ghana National Association of Teachers Hall, NAT Hall, here in Accra. This event, part of the hashtag Mahama Conversations platform, is expected to highlight key proposals from Mahama on strengthening accountability and improving political governance in his anticipated administration. Channel 1 TV's Fauzu Masawudu will bring us more. Hello. Well, we'll go and listen to the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, and then we can engage my colleague Fauzu Masawudu. Let's hear Mr. Mahama speak.
Elections. I've reiterated that Ghana is at a crossroads because injustice is eating away at our society, with our economy inflicting untold hardships on millions of our fellow citizens. I've also reaffirmed my determination to ruthlessly root out the canker of corruption and refresh your memories on a few of the uncountable corruption scandals that this administration has tolerated without any sanctions. To reset Ghana for equitable opportunities and job creation and a 24-hour economy, we also need to restore public confidence and trust in our governance institutions, which are decaying under our very eyes. And not least among them are our courts. My determination to provide adequate safety and security for all Ghanaians under the 24-hour economy initiative remains unwavering. Let me assure you that we shall build a resilient relationship with citizens and our social partners, and will create room for unfiltered and uncensored encounters between me and my Vice President to be Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. There will be unfiltered and uncensored encounters between us and moral and civil society. I trust that by working together with the media, our international development partners, civil society organizations, our traditional and religious leaders, and our labor unions, we shall together reset Ghana and begin to relive the dream of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
That was the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, speaking at a governors forum, which is currently underway. My colleague, Fawzuma Saudu, is at that forum, and he joins us with more via telephone. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Bring us up to speed. Now, who is attending this event?
So the event is essentially open to public, particularly NDC supporters, but present here are some top guns of the party. I see Nana Oyebampo, who is the secretary for the NDC Manifesto Committee. We have some past ambassadors under the National Democratic Congress, as well as administration. We have some members of the minority caucus in parliament also present, and some national executives of the party are present. So it's really a high-rank event, but also, a combination of general party supporters and sympathizers. And of course, we have Bernard Mona is also here present, and the executive secretary of the importers and exporters, Hawin Gomez.
Very well. Now, we know the focus is on outlining Mr. Mahama's plans for good governance. Now, are there specific issues being highlighted so far?
So, Nana, the event started with an address by the former NHIS boss, that's Sylvester Mensah, and it was essentially to set the tone for the conversation. And just to put this event into perspective, the hashtag Mahama conversation actually forms part of John Mahama's campaign strategy. So what is that he does is that he engages, respective stakeholders on selected topics in his 2024 manifesto. Here among some of the issues he's been highlighting really is what he calls the signing of a trade deals by the government, and he cites issues of the Mary deal, the Trafigura deal, which has led Ghana into some 150 million judgment debt and what have you. We know that somewhere, last week, John Mahama, when he engaged the St. Walker Church, made mention of the fact that he believes that Ghana's governance and democracy is in crisis. Well, John Mahama made a reiteration of that here this evening. Also, John Mahama highlighted his proposed 24-hour economy policy. And then, interestingly, Mahama mentioned that he is going to incentivize the judiciary so that we can have a 24-hour court system. That could be an interesting one. So we've been speaking about a lot of issues really, but centered on governance and accountability.
Grateful. Thank you so much for your time, and of course for that information regarding the hashtag Mahama Conversations, which is underway at the Nat Hall here in Accra. Fawzuma Saudu is my colleague here in the City Newsroom. Let's do some other stories, but still in politics and of course election-related matters, because the presidential candidate of the Movement for Change, Alan Kyerematen, has called on the Speaker of Parliament to accept the Supreme Court's decision and take steps to support the Majority Leader Fenyo Markin's application to overturn his ruling regarding the 4 MPs. Now addressing the press in Accra, Alan Kyerematen emphasized that the ongoing standoff in Parliament is detrimental to the country as it approaches the December 7 general elections. Now, following his address, Mr. Kyerematen continued his campaign in the Tema East constituency, engaging with market women and fisherfolk as part of his Greater Accra tour. Fred Duho has more in the following report.
The presidential candidate of the Movement for Change, Alan Kyerematen, has taken his campaign to the Tema East constituency, where he's been engaging with locals and fisher folks. He's been assuring them that when he's giving the nod as the president of this country, he's going to ensure that premixed fuel, which has become so scarce for the work of the people here within the Tema enclave, would be a thing of the past, because he is going to ensure that the oil that we drill in this country is going to be refined, and its byproducts would be also transformed into premixed fuel for the fisher folks to use for their fishing activities.
Alan, the president, young crop premix review.
one very important thing he said to market women is that there is going to be an establishment of a bank for the market women to be able to gain access to finances to support their petty trading.
So be mo here sika asa na mo dia dida no ano te me ba me ba ya 24 bank me papa mo chechire 400 million cedis.
He's also assured that indeed, if given the opportunity, the duopoly, which is the NDC and NPP, have ruled this country for 32 years and the status quo hasn't changed. And so if he's brought in as a third force, he's hopeful that this country is going to receive some massive transformation during his tenure as president. Prior to our coming to Tema, he held a press conference where he noted or stated categorically that the Speaker of Parliament should accept the decision of the Supreme Court in good faith.
They should throw it out and request the Supreme Court to throw out Afenyo Market's application on the basis that it is unmeritorious, it's vexatious, and it is a complete waste of the time of the Supreme Court. Because you are forcing the Supreme Court to make an interpretation of a matter that does not require interpretation.
So far, the people within the Tema East constituency have received him with a certain level of cheers and also assured him of their support and to push him to become the president of this country, to depart from the duopoly of the NDC and NPP going into these 2024 December elections. My name is Fred Duho reporting from the Tema Fishing Harbour for Channel 1 News.
This is the Election Bureau. Stay tuned for comprehensive and timely coverage of the 2024 elections. Follow us for real-time updates and join the conversation using the hashtag GhanaPost2024. You're watching the Channel 1 newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still to come. 19% of Ghanaians paid bribes to access healthcare in 2024. This is according to the latest Afrobarometer report. We'll tell you more shortly. Do stay with us.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen. Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen. Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
You're welcome back to the Channel 1 newsroom. In some more stories, 19% of Ghanaians paid bribes to access healthcare in 2024, according to the latest Afrobarometer report. The report also reveals that 40% of Ghanaians paid bribes to obtain an identity document. Charles Ozukumi has more in this report.
Access to healthcare is a fundamental human right, yet challenges remain despite government's investment in health infrastructure over the years. The Afrobarometer report indicates that 14% of Ghanaians paid bribes to access medical care in 2022, increasing to 19% in 2024. The report also highlights unemployment, infrastructure and health as the top three priorities for Ghanaians, with 41% urging the government to address unemployment. Since 2008, these concerns have consistently been the top three, with infrastructure and roads prioritized in rural areas, while urban dwellers focus on unemployment. The Afrobarometer report further reveals that the majority of Ghanaians support the retention of policies such as free senior high school, planting for food and jobs, and the abolition of the e-levy. Dr. Adam Salome, Director of Research at the Center for Democratic Development, shared further insights.
Paying bribes to get an identity document and paying bribes to get health services, for me, those two findings were very sobering. Because as I said in the presentation, you know, some of the things that make us Ghanaians, apart from being born here, is to have a document that says, you are a Ghanaian citizen. Now, if you have to pay a bribe to get that, it means that you're literally bribing your way to become a citizen of this country. And again, if you saw in the findings that one of the top priorities for Ghanaians, and it was mentioned twice, the second priority was health. The third priority again was health and infrastructure. And if people have to pay a bribe to get medical services, that indeed is sobering. I mean, somebody is ill, you go to the hospital and you have to pay a bribe to get health services. It is indeed sobering.
The majority of Ghanaians interviewed for this report
provided a negative assessment of the current economic conditions of the country and their own conditions of living. However, 45% of Ghanaians say they are confident that in the next 12 months, the economic conditions of the country will improve. For Channel One News, my name is Charles Owusukumi.
The National Media Commission, NMC, has issued a strong warning to media outlets, urging them to exercise caution with the content they broadcast and indicating it is ready to enforce penalties on organizations that breach regulations. During the Commission's regulatory meeting on offensive media content with radio and TV stations, the NMC chairman expressed concern over the programming choices of numerous media outlets and called for heightened responsibility in broadcasting. Channel One News' Kennedy Chumesi has more.
The NMC report revealed it received close to 9,000 complaints this year, covering issues such as sexual content, money laundering, and loan fraud, with over 40 media organizations reportedly involved. Among these, Yoruba TV was specifically cited for airing explicit material. However, the station's management voiced disappointment at being singled out in the report.
Yoruba TV's social program has over 95% of its content which bring hope to the vulnerable Ghanaians. The same program has a problem, and the problem was only identified. The only thing that was identified in that social program was about 5% of its content. I would therefore like to register my disappointment of the Commission.
Despite this, the Commission defended its actions.
Every category of the demographics that we have in this society has raised complaints against Yoruba, including the expert group. If I were your lawyer, I will advise you have an opportunity to amend your ways, because it will be very difficult to defend you when the time comes. This is the truth. How much money is that dirty broadcast giving you? And what do you gain out of life when you lose your soul to that kind of broadcast? I come to Kumasi with all due respect. I feel so ashamed. I feel terribly ashamed. I'm unable to listen to that thing for more than 3 minutes by myself. But because it is my work, I must listen. So you can imagine the psychological pressure I go through listening to that kind of content. We are being very honest with you. We are being very honest with you. For the third time I'm saying it. We are being very honest with you. The fact that we have not issued a notice of revocation should draw your attention.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Journalists Association criticized the NCA for lacking a clear roadmap in the digital migration process, questioning its commitment to upholding broadcasting standards.
No media house or nobody can operate a TV station without an authorization from the NCA. And they came out strongly with that. Now, as we speak, most of these stations we are talking about, they are not under the regulatory, they are not under the authorization of the NCA. Just last month, the number of new TV stations registered was about 382. Where are they going to get the frequency from? Because now NCA is not issuing frequencies, but there are bouquet out there. People are giving, GBC is expanding its tentacles to be able to accommodate more stations. The WAPs, NCA is doing their private business, also enrolling people. Initially, they were supposed to be transporters. They're supposed to be transporting stations. So we want to hear from the NCA what they are doing about that. Until then, we cannot fight or we cannot get and ensure the decency in broadcasting.
In response, the NCA assured the public of its proactive role in monitoring and regulating the sector.
For the past few months, we have put all satellite single channel authorization also on hold. We haven't stopped processing licenses, but I'm saying that we have put them on hold. That's just an administrative decision. We are going through that discussion, also submitted issues to the policymaker so that a firm determination is made on how we treat the pay TV stations that have channels in the clear, because all the channels on the pay TV are supposed to be encrypted. And so that is one of the issues too that is up for the. But like I said, this also involves policy, and the NCA is engaging the policymaker to make a clear decision on these ones. So yes, we haven't neglected our responsibility. We monitor, we enforce, and the issues that are requiring policy engagements are being considered.
The National Media Commission is cautioning media organizations to be cautious in the content they churn out, as it is ready to enforce its regulations when the content being churned out by these organizations go against the regulations. Reporting for Channel 1 News, my name is Kennedy Chumisi.
You're still watching the Channel 1 newsroom. Next is CNR Business with Neteli Neti Ajahu.
CNR Business is brought to you by MTN.
Hello and welcome to CNR Business, proudly brought to you by MTN. My name is Neteli Neti Ajahu. To our first story, some commercial banks have posted impressive profit growth for the third quarter of 2024, with newly released financial statements on the Ghana Stock Exchange revealing that some of these banks were past the 1 billion cedi mark in earnings by the end of September this year. These results highlight a strong performance across the sector amid evolving economic challenges, signaling robust gains and reinforcing investor confidence. My colleague Emmanuel Opong has more.
According to the unaudited financial statement, Ecobank saw a profit before tax surge by 84.7%, reaching 1.4 billion Ghana cedis compared to the 811 million in the same period last year. GCB Bank reported a profit before tax of 1 billion Ghana cedis, up by 21.1% from the 830 million Ghana cedis recorded in 2023. Access Bank recorded 837 million Ghana cedis in profit by the end of September 2024. Meanwhile, Cal Bank and Republic Bank posted profit before tax of 328 million Ghana cedis and 199 million Ghana cedis respectively, with ADB seeing a remarkable year-on-year growth of 553.3% in profit before tax, rising from 26 million in 2023 to hit 176 million in 2024. For some market analysts, this growth is driven by increased interest income from commissions and fees, along with significant growth in loan portfolios.
While successful deposit mobilization has been a strength across these banks, some analysts have opined that the high non-performing loans within the industry continue to be a worrying factor. Reporting for CNR Business, my name is Emmanuel Opong.
Moving on, President Akufo-Addo has signed into law the Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024, marking a significant advancement for Ghana's shipping and logistics sector. The act, which received parliamentary approval in July and formally assented to on October 18, 2024 by the President, empowers the Shippers Authority to enhance its regulatory scope across sea, air and land transportation, promoting a balanced and competitive environment for commercial shipping in the country. In an official statement to announce this, the Ghana Shippers Authority maintains that it is now equipped to foster transparency in pricing, uphold service quality and position Ghana as a leading destination for international trade. The statement further adds that to ensure smooth implementation, the authority has launched a nationwide sensitization campaign educating stakeholders about their rights and responsibilities under the Act. The authority is also gathering feedback for a legislative instrument to support the law's operational framework. And that's all for CNR Business. It was proudly brought to you by MTN. My name is Neteli Neti Ajahu.
CNR Business was brought to you by MTN.
Well, that will be all for the Channel 1 newsroom. My name is Tuffour Boateng. Many thanks for watching.